What we're going to talk about today is audiobooks for people with disabilities, and we're also going to talk about text-to-speech. There's so many options out there. If you can physically get that on a computer, you can have it read to you, and you have more than one choices to do that with. Let's get started. First one is Bookshare. Think of Bookshare as library books for people with disabilities that qualify, people with learning disabilities in reading, people with visual impairments, and some people with physical disabilities qualify. And essentially what it is an ebook that is read to you through a form of text-to-speech. But only people can get this are people with disabilities. And people who qualify, it's free for them. But think of it, Bookshare, as library books for people with disabilities. Well, Learning Ally is essentially the same thing, but think of it as textbooks for people who have disabilities. And most of them are essentially an ebook that's read to you. Some of them are audiobooks that you just hear and you don't see the text. But as more of them come out, you're seeing more ebooks that are read to you, and it's similar to Bookshare, and it's in a similar format to Bookshare. But they're known for their textbooks and their huge library of textbooks. Now, Massachusetts has a grant for Learning Ally where you can get it for free. It is a subscription service. It costs money. It can be anywhere from $100 to $150 per license per year. Bookshare is free. This one costs money, but Massachusetts has a grant. We'll give it for free for students that have a disability that qualify. However, you have to sign up at a particular time of the year, and the licenses go quickly. So you literally have to have a list, sign them up, and be ready to go at that moment when it opens up, because it's very popular. Now, textbooks, you can get textbooks from Learning Ally. However, if you can get textbooks physically on the computer through other forms, like if it's online, there are other ways in which it can be read to you where you don't go through Learning Ally. So there are other options in textbooks, which is good to know. The next place people often look is YouTube. Now, YouTube has a number of audiobooks on it, and it doesn't cost any money. However, they're breaking copyright law. People can know that they're there. We're not supposed to look at this option first. You're not supposed to look at it all because you're breaking copyright law, but people should know that it's out there, because obviously this is something that will come up at some point. People are looking for audiobooks. Now, I used To Kill a Mockingbird in this example because the story took place a long time ago, but the actual book was written in 1960, and I've checked it out, and I've looked at multiple sources, so I know I'm not supposed to be Googling things as a librarian. However, it's still under copyright, and the reason was it was written in 1960, and I can find multiple sources saying that. Now, all different operating systems have a way in which it's read to you. Chrome has Chromevox. Now, so many schools right now are either Google schools or they're moving that direction. It's an option. However, programs that read it to you on a operating system tend to have flaws and want to read everything. So I look at other options, but it's good to know that they're there. That's for Chrome. It's called Chromevox. Now, for the iPad, it's called Speak Selection, where you can go into the settings, go to General, click on Speak Selection, and you could highlight the content. I'll highlight the word it's saying, and then you can simply highlight a paragraph and choose Speak Selection, and it'll read it to you. That's what most people use on an iPad. However, they do have something that's also called VoiceOver, but it reads everything to you on the screen, and it's designed for people with a physical disability, like a visual disability, visual impairment. That's what it's used for, but it reads everything, so if you're just trying to read a paragraph, it'd be kind of hard. Then, for the Mac, it's called Dictator. Adds controls to Mac's text-to-speech function, and I'll scroll down a little bit. You can see what the controls look like. See, it's a control. So it's a little bit better way to use it. It is part of the operating system. It's a little bit more effective because they have some controls. And you can see this is where you would find it in the settings. Now, Microsoft has something called Narrator. Narrator works perfectly fine, except it reads everything to you on the screen, which, if that's not what you want, that can be a problem. Next option is OverDrive. OverDrive has audiobooks that you can take out online from the public library and also many different school libraries. We happen to have one at Chelmsford Public Schools at the high school, and all these different books students can check out, and a professional reader would read it to them. They're high-quality books. The sound quality would be really good since you have professional readers, and it would be one license per student per checkout. And students can simply check this out. And the public libraries often have this. Most public libraries do. So OverDrive is a very good option if students don't like a robotic voice. Here's another option. People think that you cannot have text-to-speech if you have a Microsoft Word file on your computer or a worksheet that you've had on your computer for a long time. You can simply cut and paste into this. program online. You can see this is from texttospeech.com. There are a number of other ones out there, and you simply type something in. I type something in, and I could make that change there, and I can click create an audio file. Now this is the Gale database. The Gale database actually has text-to-speech on it. Most people don't realize it. I could simply hit this button, and it takes a few seconds, but then it will start reading it to you.
Barbara T. with William R. Reed IV. Assistive Technologies in the Library.
Okay, and one of the other options they have is download. Like if you want to save an article, you can download it. But look at the options. Download to audio MP3. So not only can it read it to you, you can now download it as an MP3. So if you were looking for articles for a student with a visual impairment, or a student maybe with attentional problems who couldn't focus, and you want them to put on headphones, listen to the article opposed to reading it, there you go, it's for free. And the Gale databases should be in every school library pretty much in the state of Massachusetts. It's a very commonly used, very powerful database. You would find a lot of other places. But many of the other major databases, you can find similar functions. The downloading as MP3 is a little bit fancy, but the text-to-speech tends to be standard for most databases. Most people don't know it or use it. Now, the option I tend to like the best are the plugins for Chrome. See, this is one, it's called Read Out Loud. And this is another one called Select and Speak. And you can see the symbol there, and then you can see the symbol there, and I have them in the top right corner. If I highlight something and click on that, it'll read it to me. So I'm going to move over to this article here. Alexia will soon be able to read the news just like a professional. Imagine that, another option to have something read to you. Okay, so let's click on this first one. This is Read Out Loud.
Alexa will soon be able to read the news just like a professional.
Okay, that's great. Now the next one over here I happen to like, and it's my personal favorite. It's called Select and Speak. The reason why, it will read stuff in a Google document. So I can simply highlight something and I click this button.
Here are some awesome text-to-speech options.
Yep, there are a bunch of them right there. Thank you for saying that. So now not only will this read stuff like if you get news or an ebook or something, it will also read stuff in Google Documents, which is amazing. Then the next one, believe it or not, Microsoft Word has text-to-speech on it. And guess what?
Text-to-speech in Microsoft Word. Now, if you've got any type of Microsoft Office Word, whether it'll be 2007, 2010, 2013, 2016, this will work, okay? Doesn't matter what version.
So it's been around for a long, long time. Just people don't know about it and use it. For instance, if I go to my version of Microsoft Word and I could simply highlight this, and I can click on that.
Audiobooks options. Bookshare. Learning Ally. YouTube.
Robotic voice doesn't sound great. You can simply go into settings and add it. In the description below, I have a link to it, and you can get directions for that if you would like to do that. Next option, Audible. It's a subscription service, but if you think about it, if you have somebody who needs to listen to a lot of audiobooks that has difficulty reading because of a visual impairment, attentional problems, reading disability, whatever the case may be, or maybe multiple disabilities piled up together, this could be a good option for some people to use audiobooks, and they're professionally read in many cases. They sound really good. It's definitely an option. Now, moving right along. Now, if you can get any book that you can find on Kindle, it can be read in a browser, like because Kindle also will work in a browser. It works obviously on a Kindle device. It could work on an iPad, but it could simply, you could use it on a desktop computer and go to Kindle Online and have it read to you. And you could use one of these simple plugins, or I should say extensions for Chrome, like Read Out Loud and Select and Speak, or a number of other ones. So that's good to know. If you can get a book from the world's largest bookstore, Amazon Kindle, then you can have it read to you as simply as long as it's an online book. Okay, another option people are concerned about a lot of times, they say, well, what about the file format? If you have a file format, you can convert documents from any file format to another file format, so that should never be an issue for you as well. In the description below, I have information and links to help you do each and every one of the things that I just explained here. They're good directions. This will give you an opportunity to use audiobooks and text-to-speech more effectively. This is John O'Sullivan. Thank you for listening.